First, I'd like to thank everyone who's viewing tonight, as well as the random 20 people who showed up tonight in the auditorium. I'm a longtime community member. I've been within the community for 36 years. I am a proud alum of WPS, formerly known as Adams 50, and it is something that has always been, I've worn on my sleeves proudly. The reason I am part of the educational world, and that's both in my public life as well as in the work sector, is because I see education as the #1 civil rights issue of our time. I really do, and I think it's important that we have individuals who are at the table who understand the changing landscape within education. I also believe that education is the foundation in which our democracy thrives. If we are not educating our populace, we are not going to do well with our democracy. And right now, when we look at the landscape within the educational world, I do believe that a lot of students and a lot of specific populations, especially those who are socially and economically disadvantaged, are suffering and are not being provided the right opportunities to advance forward. That's the reason why I am running. That is the reason I sit in both worlds, as it relates to the public life, where I'm an elected official currently sitting on the school board, as well as in my private, where I am working at Front Range Community College to advance students from all ages who are looking to pursue a better life for themselves, as well as a better life for their families. Thank you.
I would also like to thank everyone for being here tonight, and also those of you who might be tuning in at home. I'm a lifelong resident of Westminster as well. I attended Baker when it was a grade school, Hotchkins when it was a middle school, and the old Westie on 72nd Avenue, and graduated from the old new Westie in 1976. I've lived in this community pretty much my entire life, and like Ryan, I currently work in higher education. I'm employed by the University of Colorado. To echo a bit what Ryan said, public education is in turmoil right now, not just in our community, in our state, but across our nation. And this particular board has worked hard to make sure that we install programs and keep things going for all of the children in our district. And I think the word all needs to be underlined, because in this particular time that we're going through, a lot of institutions like to be exclusionary in who they will include in their student body. Public education does not do that. We take everyone who comes to our door, regardless of their abilities, regardless of any factor. Once they cross our door, it is our duty to educate them. So we want to make sure that that's foremost in everyone's mind. I'd like to continue my work on the board because I think we've implemented some great plans over the past 4 years. I want to keep the momentum going forward that we've already established. And I've long said that Westminster is more like a small community, a small town surrounded by a larger city. Because you'll note that a lot of people have lived here their entire life, or they come back to work here and they come back to live here, or they've never left in the first place. And I think that's a great aspect, and I think it's also very important to include community in the decisions that we make.
Well, I think you all are special, even if there's only 20 of you. So I'm glad that you're all here, okay? And I chose to live in Westminster 40 years ago, so I even have a few years on Ryan here. And we chose to be here, and I chose to send my kids to a public school, Sunset Ridge Elementary, which was at the board meeting on Tuesday night showing how great they are. And I was very pleased with that. I chose to send my kids to public school, and they graduated from this school district when it was District 50, not Westminster Public Schools. So I will I'll beg your forgiveness if I slip, because I grew up with it with a different name, as some of you probably did too. I wanted to be part of the school board because I am first and foremost a teacher of children. I have been a teacher for 30 years. I have been a librarian for all of those 30 years, but 10 years before that, I was a public librarian. And I believe that that experience helps me to see things that maybe, I won't say men, but other people might not see. I have been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years with my kids. I remember being exhausted when I first started back to work, and I just wanted my kids to turn on the television and let me rest. And I read a book called Gifted Hands by Ben Carson, and his mom, who was a black single person trying to raise 2 children first in Detroit, and she told them they had to do a book report once a week. They had to write it out for them, and I have no turning on the TV. They got to watch one program, and I'm going, if she can do that and turn out a neuro brain surgeon that separated conjoined twins at birth, then I think our kids can do the same if we lead them the right way, and that's why I'm running. I believe that we all have something to bring to the table. I believe that we all have something to share, a gift that we've been given that we need to pay forward with the next generation. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm trying to help with the school board or with the school district. And if we can do that, if we can help these students, then to quote a famous Dr. Seuss person, he says, oh, what they may be able, all the places that they may be able to go because of what we've done for them while they were here. And that would be my goal. If you want any more information about me, I have a website, www.jamesonforkids.com. And my name is Galen Jameson, and thank you for having me here today, and I would appreciate your vote.
I like to think that over the last 4 years, we've done a lot of work. We've moved a lot of mountains, and I'm looking at what the next 4 years are going to be. And I think with the changing landscape of education, as I mentioned, we need the right people at the table. We need people who know how to get involved in the public sector and partner with other school districts. We need people who know how to get in the private sector and get business here at the table and open doors. We need to have a strong focus on career technical education. For the last decade, 2 decades, the education world has just promoted 4-year universities. And I think that has been an extreme disadvantage to our students because there are great opportunities out there in the career tech ed field or the trades. And I think that's something that we as a board need to bring that back to the table. If you need more information on me, I do have a webpage as well, ryanmccoy.org, and I am extremely easy to get a hold of.
Again, thanks everyone for participating tonight. I have some unbridled enthusiasm for what's going on in our city right now. For a long time, having grown up here, Westminster didn't always have a lot going on, to be honest with you. And I look around now, we have the light rail that came to our city. We have several new housing projects. We have new retail projects. And to me, I see it's continuing to grow, and I think that influx of people is going to help grow our district. And I'm really excited to be a part of that future. I agree with Ryan. We've done some good work over the past 4 years. We still have much work to do. And I'm anxious to roll up my sleeves and continue that work. And I'd appreciate your vote. Like everyone else, I have a website, joedavidek.org. And I have my district email address. And most of you know where to find me.